Hello, good evening to my wonderful, wonderful audiences. How have you been? And how has this year been so far now that we are in the last week of 2024? Thank you so much for joining in, and I really feel absolutely elated today because it is the grand finale of Shelza's Chat Show, hashtag Unthreading Success Stories, hashtag Unthreading Pageantries, hashtag Shining Stars. Thank you, Smack, for joining in so promptly. Lalit Gupta, Yogesh, thank you for sending your hearts and waves at me. Hi, Sappy, it is so good to see you here, having joined in. And in my special edition, my special episode, the culmination episode of season 1 of Shelza's Chat Show, I have a very special guest. Dev Arora 169067, thank you for joining. Yogesh Joshi, I really appreciate having you connected in. Radhe Radhe. And I'm waiting for some more people to connect in. And I will talk about my revered, my sensational guest of today. Thank you. Thank you, Aarti. My goodness, my dear friend has joined in today. It's been a while since I connected with you. I am so happy that you have connected. Thanks a ton. So as this journey has been really long for me. 25 weeks of 25 eminent guests, 25 life journeys, 25 real life lessons and guidances. I can't thank Meta for bestowing this opportunity on me where I could run a chat show and emit my flavor to it and bring real people, real next door stories full of inspiration of women to all of you. I will take a moment and also wave at Sumit Soni, Nirmal Padam, thank you for joining in, and I wave back. I'm at the end of one season, and as they say that end of one is the beginning of another, I am going to start my season 2 in 2025. There is going to be no breakage in the rapport that we have built over a period of time, but I will be coming live again and talking about what I'm going to be sharing with you henceforth. But today is not the day. Today is the day to celebrate. Hi Taz Kitchen, thank you for joining. It brings a big smile on my face every time I see your icon. So I wish to talk about the young sensation, the second young sensation that I have in my grand finale, Miss Yoshita Dharni. Yoshita Dharni hails from the lively Punjabi city, Panchkula, and she comes from a very reputed, respectable, educated, and a cultured family from there. She is an engineer by profession, but she has been blessed with umpteen passions, be it singing, be it writing, be it anything that you can think of. And I'm super happy to host a youth to my chat show because young people bring a new flavor to any show. They come with a lot of energy, they come with buoyancy, they come with a vision, and they leave us mesmerized. So Yoshita, I am so blessed to be hosting you today. You are a young sensation who has just released her first book, Galactic Stranger, on Amazon, which is selling like hotcake, is doing really well. And it's a collection of metaphysical, psychological, life-depicting collection of poems. Everybody needs to grab that book and devour it completely, and you'll be mesmerized by the depth, the sincerity, and the vision with which she has written that book. So since I'm inviting a sensational laureate to my chat show, I too have written few lines dedicated to her, which I will speak once I send out my invite. So my invite is now going to the prime. Thank you for joining in. Thank you. And I wave back at you. 2G, 3G, 4G has joined. Thank you. Arjun Sharma, thank you for joining in. And the list is long and my smile is bigger seeing so many people having joined in. Mr. Vishal Vanshi, thank you, Ruman, for joining in. The invite for my guest has gone out and I shall be seeing her in no time. Hi, Sapi. Hope you're doing good. Hi, Lalit. So what happens is when everybody joins at the same time, the guest has to make her way to the chat show. So we aren't waiting. It's all due to my sincerity. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you. And it's all, I think a lot of credit goes to everyone who is so supportive of what I do. And you are certainly in my top lists. So I think I will send out the invite yet one more time to my guest. And yes, there she should be there in any time now. So a lot of plans for the New Year's, I guess. A lot of resolutions must be made by now. Hi, Sappy. How are you? I'm doing good. I'm doing absolutely great. I have sent out, I've accepted your invite, Yoshita. I'm waving back at you. I'm accepting your invite. It happens sometimes. The guest might take a little while. Yoshita, just try and starting it all over, and you will be able to join in. And I have sent you an invite yet another time. Just accept my invite, Yoshita. There you are. Look at the gorgeous young woman. Welcome, Yoshita. Welcome to Shelza's Chat Show. And I cannot tell you in words how happy I feel to see you across the screen and bedazzle the audience.
Thank you so much. I am very grateful that I got this opportunity and this platform, and I think we're going to have a great conversation.
Absolutely. So I have written a few lines for you, Yoshita, and I was waiting for you to join in so that I could see the rushing expressions on your face. Although my expression is nowhere closer to yours, but it is a humble try. Shall I start?
Yes, please do.
So Yoshita Dharmi is a wise woman who has a functional library, an inquisitive mind, and a humble heart. Her real life story is full of creativity and heart, and she's here to win us and all our hearts. So
This is so wonderful.
that is dedicated to you, Yoshita. Welcome once again to my grand finale, that is Shelza's Chat Show, hashtag Shining Star, hashtag Unthreading Success Story.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So, Yoshita, if you allow me, I can't wait to ask the first question. Can I?
Please do.
All right. So let's just dive in talking about all about your book, which is Galactic Stranger. Now, most intriguing title I have ever come across. What inspired you, Yoshita, to come up with a theme like this, a title like this?
So I think it can't just be it can't just be me, but my whole generation. We've grown up with this whole story about how if somebody in our family passes away, you just look up at the sky, choose a star, and there they are. And
Yes.
when I look up at the sky, I used to feel the same. And Galactic Stranger particularly came live when my grandfather passed away. And I used to look up at the sky, and I, of course, chose one star. And I thought, well, he's there. This star emulates every like essence of all the knowledge and everything that he had to share with the world, and still he feels so far away that it feels like he's a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where the idea originated from. It's actually also a poem in the book Galactic Stranger, and that's how it came about. Like,
I'm touched to hear this, Yoshika, because it also reflects the born homie and the beautiful culture that you have grown into. You've been blessed to be around your grandparents, and all this coming from a youth, a young woman. I can't tell you how beautifully it resonates to people around you.
I
And
hope it
to
does.
write a book dedicated to your grandfather, I think it's a testimony of the upbringing and the culture that you come from.
That's actually very true.
Second question is, I'm a curious soul and I won't let you be at rest. I will be pounding a lot of questions.
Which
Out
is
of
great.
all, out of all the questions and out of all the poems in the collection, I've gone through your beautiful summary of the poems that you have written. Is there any one which especially holds very close to your heart? Can you share the story behind how did you come about writing it?
Okay, so since we are at the end of the year,
Yeah.
it's a culmination point for everyone. And
Yes.
this particular poem, I think I wrote it 5 years ago, because
Okay.
for me, writing comes very naturally. I would term it as a cosmic download, if I may.
Wow.
Uh, so there's this poem called The Year. And
Okay.
whenever the year ends, this one
Mm-hmm.
poem I always go back to, because I know that every year is going to be a new chapter. Even if one is ended, another one is going to start. And
Lovely.
The Year is a poem that I would always go back to. It's very close to my heart. And to answer how I came about writing this poem, it was very impromptu. It was probably this an evening before my 31st New Year's Eve party. I was like,
Lovely.
okay,
My God.
the
Okay.
year come to an end, I might as well think about something to write. It was that simple. Nothing
Wow.
really. But then that particular poem has stayed with me for a very long time. I was still reading it. So,
Okay. Wow. Whenever you feel like it, I would really want you to also read one of the poems to us from your book that you have written. Although this is something I'm requesting very early in this podcast, but keep that in mind.
of
So
course, I'll
tell me,
keep that in
your
mind.
books, I mean, your Galactic Stranger, it is full of introspective themes.
Hmm.
So I want to know, you know, how did you cosmolize your writing? Where moments when you're writing these poems felt especially healing or challenging for you? I want to know what effect these poems that you've written had on you as a writer.
I think for me, writing is a way to make sense of the world.
Okay,
And to
beautiful.
make sense of the world, it means learning from somebody's experience, learning from my own experience, listening to people, listening to songs, reading books, everything. It encompasses everything. And I'm telling you, these in the book, the poetry, the introspective themes, I think they all originate from my environment and me. Like, I would rate it equally. It's not just me writing my poem, but it's also my environment that led me to write the poems, that the people that I've talked to, the songs that I've listened to, everything. And
Wow. So, Yoshika, what is the ideal environment for a writer to be at its creative best, if I can ask you?
that is a good question. For a writer to be at their best, I can talk about myself. I'm sure
Yes.
everybody has their own way. I think the best poems that I've come about have been when I was listening to a song and I was walking on my rooftop.
Lovely.
And and particularly music, because I love singing, and I'm the person that would place the lyrics a little high on a higher pedestal than the music, and then comes the music. So first, music will evoke a raw emotion in me. The music, the song is gonna evoke an emotion in me, and then I'm gonna take that emotion and I'm gonna just stand there, be like, okay, this is the time to write a poem, Yoshita. Let's get with it. So I write the poem.
So you literally get down to writing a poem?
Yes, I
Wow.
literally just like, okay, I'm gonna open my notes app and now I'm gonna start writing. That is
Wow.
just how I write.
So you balance personal emotions with universal themes so beautifully. I want to know from you, how do you ensure your work resonates with readers while staying authentic to yourself? Because this can be very challenging.
Yeah. When I used to write, when I started writing poetry very regularly, although I've been writing since probably I was 7. The first
My
poem,
goodness.
the first poem I wrote was titled "The God Part,"
Okay.
and I've been writing since a while now, but I never really thought that the culmination point would be my first book,
Uh-huh.
or the first culmination would be into a book. That came about a few years ago after, well, my grandfather's passing. Okay, I'm going to title my book The Galactic Stranger. But whenever I write, I feel the emotions in everybody are so raw that
Yeah.
they do come out in everybody's lives in different situations.
Yes.
So I write it authentically, thinking or believing wholeheartedly that if I'm experiencing this, there has to be somebody or everybody that's experiencing the same emotions at some or the other level. So this would eventually resonate with them in their life or in any situation they would want to read the poem for. So I think emotions are very raw, very real. They are in everybody. Everybody feels the same, and I think सब एक ही होते हैं.
I agree with you, Yoshita. Absolutely. और जो आपने कहा that everybody goes through a certain experience and resonates that experience in their minds, which connects a chord in our heart and leaves us with that emotion. You are gifted to pen it down and write it beautifully. And most of us just feel it and keep it with us because it is a lesson that we've learned or a cherished memory that we've had or something which was very scary and you want to be always be at guard and not let those things happen. So all of us at heart are poems,
This
okay?
is true.
Poems that life has written on us, but there are very few like you who can actually pen it down so beautifully.
All God's grace. Uh,
Absolutely.
I'm
And
just a medium to transfer the information to people.
may the grace be upon you forever. Now, I'm very curious to ask you in the poems in Galactic Stranger, tell me which has been your nascent poem. Like you just mentioned that you started writing when you were at age 7. So, which of it was one poem which you wrote at an early stage or a very nascent stage where you didn't understand the writing skills that well? Have you published that in this book first of all?
Actually, no. Only the poems that I thought
Okay.
made sense to me,
Okay.
or I could. I when I began making sense of the world around me. These are the
Okay.
ones that I've penned down in Galactic Stranger, not the ones that I wrote. But yeah, there are quite a few that I've written before that.
So,
Haven't published.
right, Yoshita, writing poetry can feel vulnerable. How do you handle self-doubt, fear of judgment when sharing such personal work? Did
I
this
think
ever ache your mind?
Uh, I think fear, self doubt, judgment are all emotions we put ourselves through because we judge ourselves. We fear that people will judge us. Frankly, people don't have the time to. And it's us that do it to ourselves. So
Okay.
I think sitting with yourself, understanding your mind, understanding your emotions is the first step to knowing or battling these things, because people would receive it well because that's how they would also feel. And if you can overcome your own self, I think there's nothing better than it. So
My goodness, at young age such as yours, how is it that you've gathered and wisdom of an old owl? Tell me.
My, my
I'm
friends keep
actually
telling me that you switched between a 70-year-old lady and a 7-year-old child this quick.
I'm taking my lessons from you, Yoshita, at 50. Believe you me. So you truly are a deep and a very old soul, I should say. So tell me, who has been your favorite poet? You know, when you were growing up, or who's your current poet now?
Uh, okay. This is going to be a very interesting answer, I think, because people usually think if I have started writing poetry, I would have like a yardstick. But I
Uh-huh.
began writing poetry without really reading poems first. And
Okay.
I'll put it simply like I'm a reader and like I'm a writer, not a reader. I
Yes.
just write poems. And for me, music and song lyrics have been like the inspiration to write. It's not been
Wonderful.
poems as such, as much as it's been songs and songs lyrics.
So I can't stop myself from requesting you to give us a song which has resonated with you deeply and has inspired you to write this beautiful book.
Oh, the song.
Yeah.
I think I would sing a song that resonates with, or it has the theme, a cosmic theme,
Okay.
uh, to love. It's
Lovely.
Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
I love singing it.
Great. I
I just,
love the song. All ears. Please.
okay, I'll just start because I'm singing this because Fly Me to the Moon, whenever I feel a little overwhelmed, I look up at the moon. And I think a lot of
Okay.
people do that.
Yes.
Uh, so I'll just start with the song.
All ears.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
And
Thank
we
you.
loved listening to you, Yoshita. Audiences, you have to share lots of hearts if you want another song from her. A writer who sings like a pro. My goodness, my goodness. Thank you so much, Yoshita. That
Thank you
was
so much.
amazing. And my screen is like going red with lots and lots of hearts.
Thank you to everyone
My next
supportive.
question to towing the line of a journey of a life of a poet is. So tell me, Yoshita,
Hmm.
um, do you have a routine in writing, or do you wait for the creative strike to hit you? Can it happen anytime and every time? Should we always find a purse and a diary and a pen all together, that wherever you find and you sit and write, or there is a routine that you follow? How do you write your poems?
For poetry, I'm not very structure oriented. My poetry is structured, but the timing of the poetry is not structured at all. I told you, it's like a cosmic download. I
Okay.
just quite literally stand in place, take out my phone, open the notes app, and I start writing.
So has it happened that you are at the most unexpected place and you started to write? Can you share it with us?
So I was in my hostel one evening, studying for my
Okay.
exams, about to go for my dinner. I I used to stay on the fourth floor, and while coming on the second floor stairs, I'm like, wait, this song, Kisi ki muskurahaton pe ho nisar, I
Yes.
have to write something. I'm feeling something. So I stand there and I write. I think I wrote
Lovely.
Conundrum. Conundrum is what I wrote during that time. So
Okay.
that's just happened. And then, like, now
Gee,
I can go have food.
I'm sure you're sitting just the way I am. with a book in hand. Are you?
Yeah,
Great.
I got it.
Why don't you read it for us, please?
Okay.
Read it for us, please.
Do I read a particular poem?
Your favorite part,
Okay.
your favorite of your book.
My favorite of my book will be the evergreen poem. It's called The Year. And
Lovely.
I'll just start with the poem, right? I think it's on,
Let's hear it.
for reference, everyone watching, it's on page 22.
Yes, it's already open for me, and I hope it is for those who have bought the book.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
starting. The year. The year has come to an end, but the times didn't bend, and neither did you. Go on, move forward, make a wish, make a resolution. Traversing with the times, we are aging like fine wines. It's a dilemma to change or not, to be the same or not. Is it confusion or is it just a choice? Whatever it may be, our life is a corollary of that dilemma, of that confusion, of that choice.
How true.
The year has come to an end. Did the times bend? Or did your last chapter come to an end? Did you turn the page? Or is it the same war that you are ready to wage?
My goodness. And I just realized that you are reading this to all of us just 3 days before we roll into 2025. It
Yes.
is it is so apt. And how beautifully have you brought out the thought process that runs into everybody's mind as we are ebbing 1 year. We start reflecting upon what all we did in that year. How good was it for us personally, professionally, academically, blah, blah, blah.
True.
And what were the takeaways from that year and what were the lessons learned? And this you have brought out so beautifully, and I really loved the last paragraph where, it's a dilemma to change or not.
To be
This
the
this
same.
is the crux for me, because we are evolving every year. We are not the same. Every second that goes out of our life, we're not the same. So there is always a dilemma. And for me, that dilemma has been, should I stay the way people love to accept me so that I'm acceptable? Or should I just be me and let my essence grow as a human being? So I could actually relate to this line. It's a dilemma to change or not, to be the same or not.
Yes.
Is it a confusion? Always for me. Or is it just a choice? Whatever may be, our life is a corollary. Such a beautiful word of that dilemma, of that confusion, of that
Yes.
choice. How beautiful you have written. My goodness. So
Thank you
tell me,
so much.
Yoshita, just let's take the podcast further.
Hmm.
And I'm very curious to ask you, are you also uh, have you already begun writing something that will get released in the coming year? Are
Well,
you
I'm anticipating the next year to be a very dynamic year. Uh,
inshallah?
in terms of writing, I would focus on creating a little more poems first before publishing, but I have been focusing a little more on yoga, and
Lovely.
I I'm training to be an instructor for it.
Wow. I would
So
be the first one to enroll, Yoshita.
that's gonna
I
be
need to learn. I have been doing my style of yoga. Okay, I don't think I've not learned it from anyone. I do my style of yoga, but I would definitely enroll with you when you start out with your classes.
hopefully soon. I think I'm primarily doing it because people think yoga is just stretching. I feel yoga is alignment. And a lot of people, I think I need it in my life, so I might as well learn it properly for me to be aligned.
Absolutely, and wishing you all the very best for that. So
Thank you.
apart from writing passionately, singing beautifully, what are the other passions that you have, Yoshita?
Well, most of my time goes out in singing. I'm So I think you can be passionate about something but not very good at it. I like
Yes.
to paint,
Lovely.
but I think any creative expression or artistic expression or a form of expression is something that I like to do. It can be painting, it can be writing, it is singing, it is writing, and yeah, I think I paint also. I do
Great.
exercise
Lovely.
whenever I can. When my dad pulls me out of the room and be like, "You have to go to the gym with me," and then
Okay.
I have to go. That is how I spend my time. But
So, Yoshika, what advice would you give from this platform to all those budding writers who are, either in the process of writing or are hesitant about starting the whole process of writing? What is a message that you would give to these wannabes?
I think when I started out poetry or writing poems, it was very personal. And I think that is what helped me process a lot of things around me and within
Mhm.
myself. And I think most of the things are just within you. There's,
Yes.
you look at your surrounding, it's just how you imbibe it or how you interact with your surrounding. And I
Mhm.
feel for people that have just started writing or that write poems or already in the process of writing or want
Mhm.
to write, I think the first thing is to learn to sit with yourself.
Okay.
That's it. You need to learn to know yourself
Uh-huh.
before you project it out to the world. Because then, if when you know yourself, people will know you the way you know yourself. And there's like, that's what authenticity is to me. So just try becoming the best authentic version of yourself by knowing yourself first.
So true. So true. You've given a very apt suggestion to the budding writers. So, Yoshita, there are two types of writing.
Hmm.
Okay, one is reflective kind of writing, the writing where you share your emotions, your thought process through the beautiful arrangement of words. And
Hmm.
one is creative writing. Here, creative writing is, I'm speaking from term of commercial writing,
Right.
where you try and become a writer for the sake of generating wealth. Okay, so tell me, are these two different types of writings, or writing is an amalgamation of both? What do you
Uh,
think?
I I think I would I first let's just think about people that write reflective uh,
Yes,
chapters, poems, anything,
yes,
a reflective book.
yes.
I think that would be categorized as well, self-help books is what they categorize the genre as. And
Mm-hmm.
then there is commercial writing, which say it is J.K. Rowling. It is romantic novels.
Novels.
That's commercial writing, but that's very good commercial writing. I feel it's an amalgamation of both because some people like it in a story format, some people like it the way it is. So
Yes.
self-help books will be like, okay, this is what your life is, this is how what you're supposed to do, these are the steps to do it, this is how I did it. It's also coming from a personal story, it's just structured in a different way. And
Mm.
for commercial writing, it's a different kind of storytelling.
You're
So it's
keeping the
coming,
audiences in mind. I
huh,
think for commercial writing, you keep the audiences in
you keep
mind
the
when
audience in mind.
you write. Whether this book will do well or not.
Huh.
Will I hit that number where I am appreciated and I've called for different formats where I can come and read absurd and become more famous. So
Yeah.
the whole ordeal of writing any book is very long, is what everybody thinks so. Okay, a book that is incepted to its, from start to its culmination, it goes through a long phase.
Hmm.
I want you to share that phase with people who are interested in writing. Okay, so infant stages, you seek inspiration, you write.
Hmm.
Then onwards, just let my audiences know how does a book develop.
I think I I could say for myself. For me, this was a process that started 5 years ago. Before that, I did not really think about writing a book because I
Mm-hmm.
did not have a title in mind.
Okay.
And when I wrote Galactic Stranger, it's a
Mm-hmm.
poem also in the book for clarification.
Mm-hmm.
When I wrote the book, that was the moment I knew this is going to be the title of my book, of my poetry collection, and
Mm-hmm.
that is how it came about. Now, over the years, all the experiences I've gathered, all the poetry I've written, well, it is not all the poetry I've written, but a lot of it is cosmically themed. So it took a long time, and when I thought, okay, I have enough poems to now just let it out into the world. It's
Mm-hmm.
these poems have helped me process my emotions. I've healed. I am better, in a better mental space to now let the book out into the world. That is when this came about. It took about 5 years, 3 years of seriously thinking about writing it. I had it in my drafts. I kept
Okay.
adding, subtracting, and then I finally contacted the publisher.
So, you got your book edited, and then it went through a publisher.
Yes, it went through a publisher. I had like a major part in my book's editing because what I have written for the prose also, I don't want the essence to be lost when it's coming from a writer.
Yes.
So I did not want people to feel a different way when I'm trying to evoke a certain emotion or I'm trying to express a certain emotion with the prose also that I'm writing. I edited it myself. So
You edited
I,
yourself.
yeah,
Oh,
I did that. And
finally.
poetry, I think it's just, poetry does not really require a lot of editing. If you edit it, it's somebody else's. So just, I did it myself because it's just too
So,
personal.
this whole process, how much time did it take? If you have to mention it in days and months,
It took 4 months,
4 months.
right
Okay.
from the start to like the printing and getting the books.
So your book is released on Amazon.
Yes, it's
Oh,
released on Amazon. It's on Amazon India. It's on Amazon globally.
globally. So for that, does a book which has to be published has to meet a criteria?
There's a particular format in which the
Mm-hmm.
book is to be
Okay.
published, and I think that's the prerogative of the publishing house. They
All
help you
right.
with it,
Okay.
and yeah, there are certain standards with the way you write the book, how much you're writing the book, all the technicalities and like operations on how the pricing is to be set and listing is happening, when is it happening, when does it go out, everything.
All right.
So
So it's a long process.
it's it's a process. It's
So
a
you're an
process.
engineer by profession, Yoshita, and you sing like a pro. I mean, I think you can right now go on the stage and hold a concert.
I
So,
think I thrive off of people's energy. You give me a
uh-huh.
mic, you give me people willing to listen, and I will be very happy singing.
So for a person like you who can sing immaculately, who can write beautifully, who is an engineer, tell me, uh, would you not want to flourish in all these three fields together?
God willing, I think I would love to flourish in all these things.
You
But
must, because not everybody is blessed with talents such as you, Yoshida. And I feel
very nice.
that, I mean, I am irking to request you to give us another song, which will be after the rapid fire that I'm going to play with you.
Okay.
And I think you should take it more seriously. Your singing acumen, your expertise, and today the youth is not satisfied with just one profession in hand.
Which is
They
true.
want two, three for the flow to come. So I guess you are a perfect example of it. So tell me, Yoshita, that let's play a rapid fire,
Okay.
shall we? Are you
Yes, I'm
ready?
ready. Yes,
Your
I'm ready.
favorite line from your book, Galactic Stranger.
Uh, well, the poem that I wrote, it's the whole poem that's my favorite poem. The year.
Okay. What's harder, starting or finishing a poem?
Finishing a poem.
Finishing a poem? Why?
Yeah. Finishing a poem, poetry, I think it's poetry does not end, it evolves.
Oh, lovely. Yes.
If my poetry is evolving, there's always chance or always space for more. So I need to like pull the strings and be like, okay, that's it.
Here
That's
it
the
is.
emotion I'm expressing in this poem.
Here it is. True. A fictional character you'd love to have coffee with.
Richie Rich.
Lovely. And why?
I don't
Why
know
Ricky?
because when I was young, I thought he had all the fancy things in the world. I was a baby. I think I was 4 or 5, and I was so inspired. I still am. So I would love to have a coffee with Richie Rich.
Lovely. So, if your life dream location for a book signing, what's going to be your, dream destination for getting your book signed?
For my book signing,
Yes,
it's going to be New York City.
New York City, the
I think
square.
they are
Is
the
it?
most, I think, open people in the world in terms of acceptance to different professions, cultures, all kinds of people. So I
Okay.
feel NYC is the place. It's happening
All
and
right.
it's progressive.
Lovely.
So it's a good place.
One poem you wish you had written.
Well, I think I've read all Rumi's poems
Okay.
and I resonate with them a lot.
Okay.
And I wish I would have written them in that time for me to be at that stature because I can see myself thinking that way. I'm just not there yet.
You shall be, inshallah, Yoshita. Any poem by Rumi that you have it close to your heart and you want to narrate? Few lines.
Well, for that, I will have to go get my book. I
For
haven't
that,
read it.
we'll go to the
Had it.
next question then. We'll
Yeah.
keep it for some other day. The most unusual place. You've already shared this one, right? Getting down the steps
Getting
where you've
down
written
the
the poem.
yes.
Favorite word in English language?
Mm, favorite word in the English language. I think it's introspection.
Introspection? Very
Yes.
apt to your personality.
Yes.
The next creative project you would love to tackle?
Well, it would entail music for sure, and yeah, maybe composing a song.
Wow! One song that always puts you in the mood to write.
There's a song by Coke Studio. I assume it's season 11. It's called
Okay.
"To Zoom."
Lovely. It's one of my favorites, Yoshita. I
Yes,
love.
it's such a beautiful composition with lyrics and music. It just puts me in a space where I'm like, okay, let's just write.
Let's try. There's no stress. All is good.
Yes,
All is good, isn't it?
all is
It
good.
gives
All
me
is
that
good.
feeling. I would request you to give us that song while I finish my rapid fire with you, and you've been so good at it. What's the strangest thing you have ever Googled on research?
The strangest thing I've ever Googled. I think it was the spelling of a particular word which I don't remember. But
Okay.
not even the spelling, it was the pronunciation of galactic. I have had
Okay.
a hard time pronouncing it properly and then telling it to people. It's galactic. I
Okay.
went through like 10 videos understanding this is the pronunciation for it. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
Say it one more time for everyone to pronounce it right.
For everyone listening, it's Galactic Stranger.
Galact-
Galactic is the word.
Galactic Stranger.
Yes.
You're, so you're a pen or a paper or a typing. Which kind of a person are you?
I think I'm a kinesthetic learner. I like to write
You
a
like
lot
to.
with the pen paper.
Any book that changed your life?
Yes, in fact, it was the starting of my journey into the subconscious mind and then spirituality, meditation, galaxy, physics. It was The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. And I read it when I
Lovely.
was 12.
Wow. You wrote,
So
you
that's,
read it on your own,
yes,
clearly.
I read it on my own. I thought, oh, this is interesting. I had already somehow stumbled upon videos about the subconscious mind and how you have a conscious and a subconscious part of your brain.
Yes.
Very interested. I still am very interested in that science. And then I found a book one fine day on crossword. I think I was in Bombay at that time. I was very young. And I got the book. Like, okay, I have to have the book now.
One
So I read it. I actually
emotion,
liked it.
Yoshika.
Hmm.
Lovely. One emotion you write about the most.
Hmm. It is like when you're at, I I can explain the emotion. Since
Okay.
I'm a writer, I can explain it.
Yes.
Right when you're at the precipice of change
Okay.
and you want to transform, and
Okay.
you know it's time to transform. It's
Lovely.
what I write about.
Come again.
Uh, when you're at the precipice of change and you know you're ready to transform, you're just waiting for that time to just be like, okay, here you
Now.
go, run, and
Lovely.
it's that emotion that I write about the most. So I think it's progressive and transformational.
Beautiful. Wow. I'm thoroughly impressed, Yoshita. So now that we've come to the end of the rapid fire and you have been absolutely astonishing in it, can I request you for yet another song to Jhoom? Because I'm sure it is favorite and relatable to many.
I wish I would be able to like hit the notes.
Yes.
I
Just
think.
whatever. Few lines.
Uh, ਪੀੜਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਸੀਨੇ ਲਾਵਾਂ ਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਹੱਸਦੀ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਦੁੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੜ ਲੜ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਲੱਭੀਆਂ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਛਾਵਾਂ
I think there is a little
uh,
network. Yosita,
is
can you
my
hear me?
video visible?
Yes, you are visible, but it's a little fuzzy. Can you hear me, Yoshita? Can you hear me? Yeah, it got a little clearer, your image. Yes, it got a little more clearer now. But I
Okay,
can't. Yeah, now it's better. Now it's better.
okay. I think I'll
Yeah,
just sing some of the song. Tu Jhoom is
yes.
not for today.
Okay, fine. All right.
Thank
Anything of
you.
your,
Uh,
anything of your choice.
have you heard the song? I'm feeling good. That's what I'm
Yes, of course.
feeling. So
Lovely.
I'll just sing the song.
Then
Um, Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Leaves drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
good. Lovely. Wow.
Thank you.
Yoshita, uh, you are like, you know, an earthen pot, just bubbling with talent. Okay? The way you are singing, my audiences who would join in between would feel that I am hosting a singing sensation. Okay? You are pro at it as much as you are at writing. And I can't tell you how happy I feel today to chat with you and host this podcast and take it down my memory lane. Thank you so much, Yoshita. You have been absolutely brilliant. And before I wind up my podcast for the day, if you have anything to ask me, you can also, since I have put you on a tight spot past 1 hour.
I was actually waiting for you to say that. somebody as a pageant coach?
Yoshita, can you come again? There was a little lag. I'm sorry. Yoshita, can you hear me? Yoshita? Yes, yes, it was indeed awesome. And everybody has been appreciating and sending out hearts for the wonderful words of wisdom and expressions that came out. And of course, the beautiful melodious voice that you shared with us. Can you hear me, Yoshita? Yoshita, I want
Yes.
you to hear this. Puja Celebrations has said, amazing, Yoshu. Best wishes and so good to see you. Very proud. So are we. Are you able to hear me, Yoshita?
To hear you.
And Smack Deep is saying, perfect guest for the perfect moment.
Thank you so much.
Yogesh Joshi is saying, wow, nice, with too many thumbs ups for you. I'm just scrolling down because these would vanish once the podcast gets over. And
Okay.
Everybody's like, wow, wow. There are so many wows coming for you.
Thank you to everybody that joined.
So now tell me, Yoshita, what I was asking you was, if you have anything to ask me.
I was waiting for this question. I think my connection just broke right at that
That's
moment.
all
I was waiting
right.
to say
That's all right. It's part of life.
I wanted to ask you, what emotion in you or what part of you feels fulfilled when you help a contestant as a pageant coach?
Ah, that's a very tricky question. And uh, Yoshita, uh, I am when someone comes to me for any kind of training, whether it is beauty pageant training or stage fright, acing their communication, personality development, whatever. The first thought that comes to my mind is that that person has built faith in me, has so I want to live up to the expectation of my mentee. That's the first thought, and that is my riding thought throughout my training. That I, I should not, false play the expectations that my mentee had on me when he or she came to me. So um, that pushes me to get the results for my mentee. Because until and unless someone is rewarded, I feel they are never celebrated enough. And deep down, we also don't feel accomplished. Although it's very easy to say that, oh, we are all good, we are doing well. But if you want to be accepted in a society in which you live, you know, you have to have some kind of acknowledgement of your expertise. It could be anything. It could be participating in a pageant, it could be whatever. So this is that first thought that comes to my mind, that I must live up to the faith that that person built in me, and I must deliver to that level. So that's the only thing on which I work.
I think that's wonderful for anybody that's coming to you for
Yes.
well.
So anything that you would want to share with my audiences before we call it a day?
I think the only thing I'll share is gratitude today for this year, for this time, for me to write a book, for this platform. I am very grateful. I'm very happy, and hopefully, the next year brings good things for everybody that's watching, and for me and you, everybody. That's
So true, so true. Inshallah, all your dreams will come true, and you will be many, many notch higher in your sense of gratitude, satisfaction, growth, progress, wisdom, and all that your heart desires, Yoshita.
God is kind.
And I can't tell you how happy I feel today to sit across like this and host you because I have known you enough, and you have turned into a very young, confident, fine woman who deserves only the best. So
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
so much. Yoshita, for gracing my chat show and leaving an everlasting impact and memory for me to cherish for years to come.
This is very nice of you to say. I wish you all the best for your next season.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting me.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Tell me three words that you would want to convey to everybody who is reading or is going to read your book. How would you promote your reading? Tell me. Give that promotion before you leave
Okay.
for your book.
It's going to be change, breakthrough, and evolution.
Lovely.
That is what you'll feel when you end this book, and you would want to come back to it.
Fine. And what is your email ID if people have to write appreciative messages to you, if they have to reach out to you to collaborate? Where should they reach out to you?
So it's practical.preacher08 at the rate email.com.
Lovely. Lovely. So those who are interested and bedazzled at this young woman, you know where you have to reach out to her. Galactic Stranger on Amazon, doing very well. And which are the other two platforms? Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon.in, which is Amazon India's market, and it's also available on Amazon globally.
So everybody now knows where the book is, and everybody is going to revert back to you after having read that book, because I have, and I was completely blown. Considering the content that you have written and juxtaposing it with the age you are in, there's no match.
That's such
a lot
a
of
nice thing to say. I'm humbled and honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and God bless you. Wishing you a very, very fruitful, cherishable, memorable, dhamakedar 2025.
And I wish the same for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Yoshita.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there, I have taken a big sigh of breath because I just felt I interviewed a prodigy. Because how can a young woman, all of 23, be so full of vision for life, for her future, clarity of what she has been experiencing all this while, putting it so beautifully on a piece of paper for all of us to read and get bedazzled, sing like a pro, as if she is going to enter into any studio and start recording professionally. And what a positive vibe and aura. Truly, truly a perfect fit for my grand finale. It will be wrong on my part to not thank my audiences, my supporters, all the well-wishers, philosophers, my guides, and my friends who have always been there to support me, to take my back when I try and start doing something new. And from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank Meta for believing in my capabilities, for pulling on a chat show, a podcast, which ran 4 podcasts in a month, back to back. And here we are at the grand finale, which is 25th episode of Chelsea's Chat Show. None of it would have been possible had your support not been with me. I have received so many mails, so many messages of you suggesting me what I can do more, what I can do more, who other people I should bring more and share their stories with you. I have taken a very close note of all your requests and I'm baking something afresh for season 2. So, Shelza's Chat Show will continue. Shelza's Chat Show will be run just the way it is, and it will get you a new flavor, a different flavor, so that you feel that Shelza has adhered to your requests, adhered to your suggestions and your guidances. Shelza is what you made out of her. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Congratulations, Manan Strong. You have been playing some amazing cricket. I went out and I saw you are acing it. And thank you. And I love you all. Wishing you a very, very promising 2025. May all that you've been wanting to do gets fulfilled. If you've been wanting to get started into something, may it happen with a blast. If you've sulked, sorrowed, brooded, felt bad about something, may God balms it with happier and more joyful and appreciative memories. May you grow in wealth of wisdom and good health. Thank you so much, and I love you all. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Dhamakedar 2025, and I'll see you next year. Shabba khair.